Every year, Dr. Tom Kelly of the Creighton Theology Department takes students to the tiny town of Orgila, El Salvador, a town that has seen great bloodshed in its history. Every year, students go to learn, to listen, and to accompany the people of Orgila. They visit the sites of the massacres throughout the country of El Salvador, and they hear firsthand the atrocities that have been committed at the hands of SOA graduates. Tonight, we are pleased and very privileged to have 3 students who made the trip this past year: Jackie Arneson, Nate Tai, and Rachel Bloom. And together, they will tell us about El Salvador, the past, the present, and the future. We all have people in our lives who inspire us to do more than we believe possible. Our family, our friends, our teachers. Some of this inspiration may also come from the past, from historical individuals that we only read about in books. Yet through their words and stories, we find ourselves inspired to do more. I found my inspiration in Monsignor Oscar Romero, the Archbishop of San Salvador from 1977 to 1980, during the heart of the Civil War. Prior to our trip to Orgila, El Salvador, I knew of Romero, but it was not until I was down there this past summer that I truly experienced the presence of Oscar Romero. His words and example have inspired me, not only to better the community around me, but to better myself. As many of you know, next spring is the 30th anniversary of Romero's assassination. Yet it is fairly unknown that Romero was not always the remarkable advocate we all remember. Romero developed, as we all do, to become an advocate and a person of living faith. He too was inspired by others, by friends, by community members, by fellow priests. He had crossroad moments, moments of hesitation, moments of isolation and despair, but these moments led him to the conviction he had to act. Father Rutilio Grande served as Romero's inspiration. Prior to his murder in 1977, this Jesuit served the community of Aguilares by asking the people about what they needed, rather than providing them with what he assumed they needed. This philosophy inspired the approach Romero used to serve the poor. It was through these experiences that Oscar Romero made the conscious decision to become the voice of the voiceless, speaking up for the campesinos in his country who were not allowed to stand up to the incredible violence and injustice they faced. He called for justice and recognized that charity alone was not enough. Romero strived to serve the poor until his death. He said, "I do not believe in death without resurrection. If they kill me, I will rise again in the Salvadoran people." By immersing myself in the culture and living in solidarity with my Salvadoran family, I began to see the poor as Romero did, not as the marginalized who needed my assistance, but as individuals who welcomed me into their community and into their families. It was through the relationships I built with my family, Omar, Rosie, Sandra, Mami, that I learned life lessons that could not be taught in a classroom. Even with the minimal Spanish I spoke, they showed me love has no language barrier, no border, no race. It transcends all human differences. Yet it was not until I returned to the United States that I fully comprehended the effect Romero and the people of El Salvador had on my life. Not only did I discover a new vocation for teaching, I now have a renewed sense and drive for social justice. I found out I cannot stay idle. I need to continue the work, feed the passion, and share the commitment of Oscar Romero. As Romero says, we must aspire not to have more, but to be more. I can do so not only by advocating for the poor with my words, but also by striving for justice through living his message in my daily life. These are simple actions. I buy fair trade products and financially support organizations that put the dignity of the person ahead of the profit. I also recognize prayer as a critical tool for change. As St. Francis of Assisi once said, preach the gospel continuously. If necessary, use words. And most importantly, I know I cannot change the world alone. It is imperative that I discuss the issues with my family, with my friends, with those who inspire me, in order to inspire them, and together we can have a deeper understanding of the world. I hope this weekend strengthens us to live out the life and message of Oscar Romero, our companion in faith doing justice.